So there's been some changes here.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I liked your mini air quotes, but we're going to have to go with big air quotes because this is pretty big.
This is big stuff.
Pretty big stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, historically, when you and I have joked about this, you know, April 15th and the line used to be wrapped around the post office with people dropping off their tax returns.
We used to do stories on that.
Yeah, we did. You'd show up with TV cameras. But those days are over. The IRS has changed the rules about actually when a tax return or a payment is considered timely mailed. So it used to be if it was dropped in the mailbox by the due date, it was considered timely filed.
No longer?
No longer. It has to be actually processed through one of the mail processing centers and receive one of the U.S. Postal Service mail marks to be considered timely. So if you drop it in the box on April the 15th, if you're still one of the people mailing your tax return.
Yeah, I have done that.
And it doesn't get processed until 2 days later, and that processing stamp, you're considered late by 2 days. So it is.
I'm not sure people know
I
this.
know that because they just issued these regs effective with this 2026 filing season. And it's one of the few. That's why I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention, because it's one of those things that slips under the crack. And for those people who still mail, and a lot of people still mail their payments, and this applies to payments
for payments
too, right? So payments that have to be sent in by April 15th. You either need to be mailing them early, or mailing them certified mail, or going to the post office and have them actually stamp it.
I was going to ask you, can you go inside to the post office and what do you tell them? You make sure I got to see you stamp it.
They've got to stamp it.
Okay.
With their receipt of it. So, but if you want to be safe, then you certify mail it. If you've got a mail, I should say, I'm going to go back and circle back to what we've talked about before. Electronic payment, irs.gov, go on the website, set up an account, make your payment electronically. That's the safest way that you have documentation that it was paid on time. But if you must mail, then putting a stamp on it and dropping it in the box on the 15th is no longer a safe method to do.
Well, I'm going to tell them we don't need to be out at the post office this year.
I think you're probably okay to do that.
That's a pretty good move there.
Maybe we can find a better place for you to be.
I think we can find another story. Well, there's been changes. Why do you think this happened? Is this happened because they got overloaded with
I think it goes back to what we've talked about before. I think it's their push to transition people away from paper documents to everything electronically. You know, we talked about they're not going to let you get paper checks for refunds anymore. I think they're trying to get away from paper checks being mailed to them, tax returns being mailed to them. They're really moving us toward a complete electronic processing process.
Does that make sense to you?
It does to me, but for those who are technologically challenged, and I have plenty of senior clients who have told me that they can't do it this way, it will be a challenge for them So we're just reminding everybody if you're going to make a payment by mail or you're going to send your return by mail, let's do it certified.
Or also, if you want to think about getting a tax professional to do it this year or the coming years, it just may be wise.
It may be.
I don't know. All right, we did the mailing. Okay, how about people you've had? In fact, I think you told me that you had at least one person call you. They hadn't gotten their refund check from
2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why?
The IRS is backlogged, so this is not real public knowledge, but I think as of the end of 2025, there were still 40 million tax returns that had been suspended in processing for whatever reason. Incorrect Social Security number, incorrect information on the tax return, whatever. The IRS suspended those processing of tax returns, didn't tell anybody, and so the only way you know is if you call or get a letter from the service, and we're finding returns that have been filed for 6 and 8 months haven't even been processed by the service. So,
does it have anything to do with government shutting down or the furloughing of?
It's a combination of a lot of factors. It was the COVID shutdown. I don't think they ever got caught up from the COVID shutdown. The multiple shutdowns and the furloughs have certainly contributed to lack of personnel to be able to open the mail. And then permanent, not even furlough, but permanent retirement.
Yes,
early
a lot of people
took that early retirement.
They did.
And so I just don't know that they have the personnel in place, which I think circles back to why they're trying to move everything electronically. You don't need people to open up electronically filed tax returns or
No,
payments that are
no.
submitted electronically.
I bet it is. I bet it's all just
I think it's a
tied
move.
in.
I think it's a move to get everybody electronically filed.
So if people are saying, yeah, I'm one of those, I never got my refund, just hang on there?
No, I'll certainly go to irs.gov. There's a place where you can check the status of your refund. You need to know your filing status, your last name, your social security number, and the amount of the refund. And it has to be exact. You can't guess at that number. It's got to be exact.
You can't put 1
some
million
number. If you get that refund, you probably shouldn't be filing taxes. But it will tell you whether the return's has been received.
Okay.
And then it'll tell you, there's 3 parts of it: received, in process, and refund issued.
Okay.
And so if it's in process, you know they have it. And until it reaches refund approved, you either have to call them or write them a letter and try to find out why it has been held up.
But that's what you need to do, irs.gov.
Yep, to find out at least where it is.
Where it is.
And then you know whether you should write them a letter or try to make a phone call.